Hey, what's up, guys? Bonafide Hustler here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Rake and Profit.
All right, so we have a Green Room Live show today. A really quick, brief show. Title is Diet and Exercise. I think you'll really enjoy it. We did want to cover a lot of the top points on this little micro outline, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we can talk openly about diet and exercise. We want to make sure that we give you guys like really, really good pointers and things that we actually do right now. So hopefully, you can get that increased stamina, increased energy, confidence, whatever you're looking for. As you guys may or may not know, Green Room Life is a Facebook group that runs off of Green Room, okay? And Green Room is our paid Facebook group. So we created Green Room Life about, what would you say, Reagan, 5 months ago, 6 months ago?
Yeah, right around that area.
Because we have intense passion in the fitness portion of it, right? Or just wellness, fitness, motivation, all that kind of stuff. We have a lot of passion there. And we thought, why let all this go to waste? Like, why just keep it all to ourselves? Why not share it with all the people that actually, have joined our normal Green Room? So in Green Room Life right now, there are 332 members in that room. In Green Room normal, hustling page, there are 910, I believe, right? Am I close? Something like that.
Yep, you're right
We have
on
college
the
picker that
right
just
on the
joined
dot.
them. So anyway, it's fair to say that about a third of our picking audience is interested in wellness, fitness, doing better with their lives, motivation, all that kind of stuff. And that's what Green Room Life is. And that's what these Tuesday shows are all about. Shorter versions of, our Wednesday show and geared towards things other than hustling. Because let's face it, there are a lot of, important things that I think a lot of us neglect, right? And hustling seems to be one of those things that we all just super focus on. And then you realize at the end that maybe you're not happy, maybe you're not comfortable with the way you look anymore, or your body, or whatever. And you certainly know that it's important to change. You just don't know how to, and you need some guidance. So that's what this Green Room Life show is always all about. A little bit shorter, and it's always going to be usually on Tuesdays or Mondays. So anyway, that's that. Rakin, who do we have in the feed real quick? Anyone? I see a lot of people in there.
We got Jimmy Hin in the feed. What's going on, Jimmy? Turtle Trader saying CP. AZ Mick, Brian Huntsman, Thriftology. We've got, let's see. Looks like Jimmy Hin is saying kale, spinach, lime, ginger, cucumber, celery, green apple, best juice ever. So we got a bunch of folks in the comment section right now. So welcome everybody to this Green Room Life episode.
Right. And let's do one more thing. If you are in Green Room or Green Room Life, I want you to put a G down on the comment feed. I'm just curious to see how many of our members are showing up to this show, or is this show just hitting other, random YouTube people that are just finding it out of nowhere? So yeah, if you're a Green Room member, just put G down, the letter G. What's up, College Picker? How are you doing? He's about to unmute.
I am muted.
All right. How you doing?
Good.
How old is that tank top?
I got it at the second meetup.
Oh, okay, cool. It seems like I've seen that tank top in a lot of
lots of videos.
Yeah, lots of videos. I like it.
Fitting into it better now.
Dude, you are getting bigger, man. Rakin, look at that. It's not even it's like hugging his body now.
What have you been doing, man, with your diet?
Dude, I've been just diet and fitness. That's all it is.
Look at that. That's crazy, man. Yeah, you definitely look more full. Got a lot of G's coming up in the comment feed right here. Jay Ramsey just joined this weekend. Welcome, Jay Ramsey. Good to see you. Vargas Girls and Daddy. Oh, I've met a lot of these. Oh, what's up, man? I've met him. All right, so let's get into the outline. We have a very, very short outline. I'll show you right here. It's kind of real short, but like I said, the show is supposed to be short. So let's go into the faults that most people fall into. Let's cover some of the problems out there. And I highlighted 3 main problems that I see people this is a fault, basically. So the first one is few meals a day, or usually 2 larger meals. Remember that, Rakin? I think a lot of people fall into this. They just hustle so hard and they do the right things with the monetary aspect of their lives, but then they come down to how many meals did you eat today? And it's 1 huge one or 2 huge ones, maybe even just a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But they fail to realize that if you spread out smaller meals, right, a little bit more regular, then you get a better energy curve as well. So that's one of those things, right, Rakin? I mean, how many do you eat how many hours, Rakin?
I try to eat every 2.5 to 3 hours, because I notice in particular, if I eat just 2 or 3 really big meals during the day, it like spikes. It really just destroys my energy. I just become very tired because your body is trying to break down all this food at once. And I think when you eat smaller meals, it's kind of like you're stoking the fire in a sense. You're just like giving your body just enough to be able to take the nutrients out and keep moving forward instead of having to like focus all of its energy on trying to digest, 1,000-calorie meal.
Yep. And then CP, do you kind of get a regular diet now? I know sometimes when you work hard, like you do the 3 big meal kind of thing or 2 big meals, but what are you at now?
I'm still in not set mode. I vary in traveling, and now Thanksgiving, I had Chipotle, 4 times out of the last 3 days or 2 days or something.
Yeah. My diet right now, Raken and I, we transcribe our diet in the background in a Google sheet kind of thing. And, we can see that we're all eating, like Rick and I especially, eating every 3 hours and all that kind of stuff, high protein kind of thing. So let's go into number 2, the faults and everything. Number 2, I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, is there's just not much exercise out there that people are doing due to time constraints or family kind of things. I think people know that it's right to do it. They know it's a good thing, but failure to execute is, just prominent out there. So, Rick, what would you say about that? Time constraints. Life is complicated. I don't care what anybody says.
Everyone's got 24 hours during the day. I think it comes down to making it a priority. Today I woke up early and, just like everybody else, before you have your cup of coffee or, before you take a shower, you're tired. You don't feel like it. Your body, you've been sleeping for 7, 8, 9 hours. But I found from my personal experience that, if you want it, you've got to just find the time. We've all got the time for our musts. If it's a must, we'll find time for it. If it's just a want, we won't find time for it. So I found personally, carving out my first hour of the day to go to the gym and, hit the weights for an hour or so kind of does the job for me. So I find that in the morning, first thing, just get it out of the way. Because, as hustlers, entrepreneurs are out there grinding, hustling, running around, and a lot of people don't realize that it actually takes a lot of effort to go out to thrift stores and listing items. It's not only mental, but physical effort as well. Who wants to hit the weights and do cardio at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock? Maybe some people, but me personally, first thing in the morning, knock it out, get it done with, and then you just have the rest of your day to, work or enjoy yourself.
Especially when you have a pile of stuff you have to list when you get home. Who wants to go work out when you can just continue to make money?
Yep.
I think it's easy for people to get into the hustling groove because, let's face it. Money rules, right? Money is important. Money buys somewhat security. It buys health care. It buys a lot of things that if you didn't have it, you'd be in a pretty bad place. So I think people mess with the hustling thing. They mess with the thrifting and all that kind of stuff because you almost get immediate results. Does that make sense? You get results quickly. Like on eBay, you could list something, you can literally sell it same day, right? Now, if you go to the gym one day, you ain't going to get ripped in one day, right? It's going to take months and years, right, to get where you want to go. And I think that's where people start realizing like there's a lot more instant gratification when it comes to hustling, right? And then it's like, okay, I put some time in and goal achieved, like put some time in, goal achieved. Now, when you go to the gym, it's like, I put some time in, it's like, I'm never going to look like that guy. I put some time in. I'm still not going to look like that guy. I don't even know how many times a week to go. I don't know what to eat. I see people saying, stop eating fried food, but I don't really know what that all this means and how it all comes together. And they don't get the result quickly enough. And I think that's just human nature. I think that's just human nature going pleasure versus pain. And, people are just going to gravitate towards things that makes them feel good and things that don't hurt. Like that's just the way it is. But we will talk to you guys about a couple more things in this show, and hopefully we can curve that thought process. Number 3 is they're eating. Maybe they're eating on a regular basis, but the composition of the calories is not correct. What do you say about that, CP? Like eating regularly, but the composition of calories is not smart.
My point in my fitness, I'm not thinking about composition of calories. I'm on the other spectrum of most people where you're actually trying to be putting on mass, putting on muscle. So from what I've been doing is just eating as much food as possible, regardless of the composition of calories. But I could see if you're coming from the other side, you're going to be a lot more worried about that.
Everybody has a different body type, right? What
Right.
are the 3 body types? I know it starts with an M.
Ecto, endo, and meso. Ecto, endomorph, mesomorph. Ectomorph,
And
Okay.
mesomorph.
there's probably even subsets of that.
An ecto is like Eric. Is Eric the ecto where he doesn't put on fat easily?
I'll show you real quick. I always get kind of confused on these, but yes, there's 3, and even Eric has a point too, which is there's even subsets of those too. Because anyway, but yeah, it's ecto. Essentially, this is he's an ecto. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, difficulty gaining weight, low body fat, always. That's basically Eric. Narrow frame. It says pencil frame, Eric. Eric, are you a pencil frame?
I'm more like a Sharpie.
You're a Sharpie. Okay. But yeah, essentially you are here's ectomorph, basically high density, massive calories. So that's basically him. I'm in the middle, which is a meso, and a meso is kind of like more symmetrical, wider shoulders, like right out of the box, still low body fat, and it's easy for me to put on muscle, like very easy. Now Raken might be a little bit more of an endo, and endo means Raken's going to have to work a little bit harder to get his goals. Which is interesting because for the past 6 months, Raken's been working out and he's getting very slow results. But the point is, it's very steady. Eric's been working out for about
a month and a half. Month and a half in,
and he
and
gets
quick results.
and he takes off very quickly. You know,
Oh man,
it's pretty crazy. I'm on the other side. I'm in the middle where my muscle has kind of just been there all the time, and I'm just fine tuning it. So there are different, and like Eric said, there's some subsets in that as well. There's some like super ectomorphs, like people that just, you know, go to the gym and eat a lot, and it's still like they're on a trajectory kind of like Raken, where it's a very slow climb. But the point is, one of the things I want to give you guys is, yes, the composition calories is not good for most people, because I think a lot of people are endo, okay? That is, they're out of shape, they don't have much muscle, and there's just the composition of calories in their foods and what they choose to eat is still a bad choice. So almost like they're just, you know, wedging themselves in this endo like even more, right? It's like really impossible to get out. You could be going to the gym. If you still eat like crap and you're an endomorph, it's not going to bode very well. You could be building great muscle underneath all the fat and all that kind of stuff, and you're still not going to see it. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Let's go into why diet and exercise is important in the long run. So what do you guys think? I have about 8 things right here. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to pretty much hit it. So we'll go with CP first. Why is diet and exercise important for someone to do?
Just in this last month and a half, I have find myself overall, well, because I was actually working while I just finished a job, so I was working when I started, and I actually enjoyed working more. I worked better. I was more focused. I had a better temperament. I was like more patient. Like all of these things during this. I had more energy when I was working out during those 2 weeks when I was working out hard. No, it was about 3 weeks when I was working out hard while I was working a 8-hour job. So I noticed that immediately because I worked for a month without really working out, and then I worked for another 3 weeks while working out. So huge difference right there, like in just effort and motivation, attitude.
Yeah, we put you from a 0 days a week working out thing to a 5-day, right? We put you
I
on
was
5 days
going
split.
about 4 to 5, and if there was a day during the week where the weather was awful, or when it was just too cold, or I don't know, get off work and I had to come home and get in the comments to hang out or whatever, I would save that for the weekend. I would push it back to one day off.
Right. So, okay. So you've nailed a lot of them. What do you think, Raken? Diet and exercise,
Yeah, I
why is
mean,
it important?
you definitely nailed a lot of them. I mean, obviously one of the important things is just, you know, overall health, right? Lifting weights and doing cardio and eating right. I mean, it's good for your skin. It's good for your internal organs. It's good for your heart. You know, it's good for, you know, extending your lifespan. So just in general of just, you know, if you want to live a longer, healthier life and feel better, you know, eating right and exercising and having a regular fitness regimen is going to be big for that. But, you know, what Eric said, some of the immediate stuff is just the energy, the confidence, feeling good, and just being able to go longer.
The confidence was a big one.
Self-esteem.
Every single person I've ran into, family member or not, says that I'm a lot bigger than I was. And I checked the gym. I was 175 at the gym, and I've never been 175 in my life.
What were you a couple months ago, if you had to guess?
I was like 155.
Jeez, you put on 20 pounds, man. What are you?
Crazy. That's
Holy
insane.
mackerel! That is. Do you think that what percentage of that would you say is muscle versus
I'd have to get the
fat?
test. I don't know. I don't believe those Higgy
But how do you look?
tests.
Do you have more body fat on you when you grip your?
I'd probably say my stomach is more fatty than it was, but my arms and my back is bigger. And
And your lifts have been going up too. I'm
yeah,
assuming. Probably.
I've never put up 185 in my life either.
Are you repping it or just?
No, just we do when we do the 5x5s. I don't do 185 5x5. I did it. I just put it on to see if I could do it, and then
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's awesome, man.
So this is what I had written down for the 8 things. Why diet and exercise is important. So we'll start with the first one: regulation of body hormones. Right, very important that if your hormones are all out of whack, then you're not going to feel good. Period.
Oh yeah, I could touch on that from a physiology standpoint. When you're sedentary, your circulation is it's not going like it should. The blood isn't moving. It might pool in your legs. It might pool in your arms. It might pool in a certain part of your body. You're not moving around because it actually takes movement to get vessels to push blood certain ways. So if you're not moving around, you're not exercising, the insulin might not be going around completely. The thyroid might not be going around completely. Like all these things that we're using that are very important regulatory systems in our body are not getting to where they need to be because we're just sitting.
Good. Perfect explanation. That's a good one, man. The second one is mood regulation, evening out, which is good, which is due to the body hormones.
Yeah, that could be hormones. That's right. Also part of confidence pie. That's part of energy pie. Like,
yep. Next one is confidence. Next one is just overall mobility, right? The ability for your ligaments and all that kind of stuff to stretch appropriately and to actually get used to it. Very important for mobility. A lot of people are like, well, I can't work out because of lower back pain. I can't work out because of knee pain.
The knee pain. Oh, knee pain. This is a good one. Believe it or not, the guy that I left in Key West on the bike trip he's had bad knee pain. He's had bad back pain. His whole adult life, from injuries and from just arthritis. He's like early onset arthritis, things like that. And when we started, every day he was getting ice. He was getting ice, icing his knee. Well, eventually your body takes all these nutrients and puts it in the places that you're using a lot. So his knee actually got better and he wasn't having knee pain after a couple weeks in, and he wasn't having back pain. He was actually building up the muscles and everything around his knee, so his knees were stronger. He wasn't having those pains anymore, but he did have to get through it for a couple of weeks, popping ibuprofen and icing it down. But he did eventually push through it.
Yep. So that's one of the reasons why on my workout plan there's a heavy shoulder warm up and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of warming up when you do lifts that are on my workout plan, because we want to make sure that we break in the ligaments properly and all that kind of But it's very important that when you sit there and you go, I have knee pain, I have back pain, I have shoulder pain, not to sit there and go, I can't work out. You're gonna have to do kind of just like CP said. You're gonna have to realize that human bodies are capable of very incredible things, but there is that transitionary period where it's a little not painful, but there's going to be some just joint aches after you work out. It's just going to be there, and then after a while your body, your circulation is going to improve, and then before you know it, your mobility is going to be like, whoa, I can actually squat down, I can actually go like this and get my seatbelt without having shoulder pain in my car. Like, there are a lot of things that you realize that you can do with your body, and but a lot of people quit. They're like, I can't. My doctor said no. Like, my doctor said not to work out ever, or never to do this kind of stuff. And you're going to have to
get a second opinion.
Yeah, you need a second opinion. You need to realize that the human body can do really, really incredible things. And you're going to have to start pushing through, even if it's very light stuff. I'm not talking like, on a chair, extending your legs up and down, just like you see those old people workouts, or I'm talking about where it's sit and be fit kind of thing. That it starts with something very, very basic. Okay?
The cubicle workout.
Yeah, and then before you know it, you're attaching a little band to your ankle, to the back part of the chair leg, and you're doing a little bit of resistance. And before you know it, you're going to be on a machine in the gym. Before you know it, you're going to be doing a squat. So it starts very, very simple. So if you have those pains and all that kind of stuff, especially I think lower. The number one joint in the body, guess what it is? It's actually the shoulder joint. But
What do
after
you
that,
mean number one joint? What do you, number one for what?
like
That's
number one mobility, like actually a range of motion, everything, like so many things, like chest goes, chest, triceps, biceps, all these kind of things.
like the number one used joint.
Yeah, number one used joint. Yeah, is actually the shoulder joint. So if you get your shoulders messed up, which I've had it twice in my life, but if you get your shoulders messed up, I mean, it's a world of hurt. Think about it. If you're trying to build an upper body and your shoulder joint's messed up, like it's basically stopping at that one point. You're like,
I used to have a lot of shoulder issues, and when we started doing the not the band, kind of like the band. What are those things called? The little pre-workouts where you do this and that and this, and then doing our little shoulder things and then doing like the 40, 30, 20 warm up. Like I haven't had any shoulder issues. Like I used to always have shoulder issues with bench press. Like I even had issues with like squatting and stuff like that, but doing the 40, 30, 20 warm up just helps, doing a good warm up beforehand and
pushes blood into those areas, and then all those nutrients are going where they need to go. If you're needing to build more ligaments or whatever, those little ligament molecules will go to your shoulder if you're putting a lot of circulation in there.
Yeah, it's equally as important that, once you tear down your muscle or once you stretch out your ligaments, all that kind of stuff, is that you repair them with good sleep and you repair them with good diet. That's very important, because if you didn't get on that diet, Rake and CP, and you weren't doing smoothies after workouts and all that kind of stuff, then you would have basically pain for a couple more days than normal, and you're just not.
Oh, I've noticed it. I'm not doing protein up here, but I've been going to work out with my brother, and I'm way more sore. My muscles are way more sore. And I haven't been doing protein at all. No post smoothie workouts, no extra vitamins, no BCAAs or anything.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big operation to get these results quicker, and so that's basically what this show is. Hopefully when you look at the Green Room Life shows, you look at them as kind of almost like a life hack type show. Like you sit there and you're like, I want to tune into this, or I want to watch it after the fact, because I can get a really, really good amount of value in 30 minutes to an hour. So that's basically the goal of this show. It's not really super planned out or anything. Like we have a very basic outline, but we want to make sure that you walk away with some sort of like a life hack where you can go home and, better yourself quickly, And so the reason why we work out, so we bring our same kind of dedication that we do with hustling down to the gym level and down to the fitness level and everything, is because when you look at it on a almost scientific standpoint and a religious standpoint, not like religion as in God and all that kind of stuff, but religious as in doing it all the time, okay? Then you really start to figure out that you can get results pretty quickly in the gym. Like some of Raken's results is mobility, right? Increased mobility quickly. I mean, quickly. Sure. College Pickers results within 3 weeks were drastic, mood, temperament, so once you apply, a good scientific approach to it, then you start to realize that you can get these results much quicker than most people would ever get results, because you're attacking it from every angle possible and trying to perfect everything, just like your hustling business. So, and
that's good that you bring up that you're looking for results other than just physical results.
Yeah, it's really important, because
if you're noticing the mobility results or the characteristic results, that could be huge, because somebody might not even notice that and not attribute it to working out. They might just think it's, I don't know, something random in their life that made them happier. But if they think about it, it's attributing to the fitness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Some of the last ones I had on this, why diet and exercise is important, is stamina. That's real good. Stamina is the ability to stay in motion for an extended period of time past like a normal time, than a human body could do. So stamina is real good. Experience opener, which means to me, when I wrote that down, is it allows you to, now your body can go from point A to point B. When a lot of people, their point B was a really short circle, right? Your point B can be now a larger circle. That means you can go on a bike tour, right? You can go hiking for day hikes now, and you used to never be able to walk across a field, and kick a soccer ball with your kids. Now you can actually hike and put a backpack on, and you have the mobility, plus you have the strength to not only carry the pack, but carry your body from point A to point B in a much larger circle. See, that's what I like about fitness, guys, is that people start out with these really tiny circles, right? Tiny circle can be like, oh, I'm going to go out and shovel snow and I'm going to be super tired when I'm done. That's a real tiny circle to me. It takes a lot of effort, right? But then you get these people that are like, they start working out, they start getting into fitness, and before you know it, like that tiny thing doesn't suffice anymore. That circle, they're like, no, that's not exercise to me anymore. That's not working out. That's not even blood circulation. Like they're finding ways to start making bigger circles. They're maybe, doing it for the entire block. They're starting to go into the wilderness and starting to do little hikes, and then they're buying a bike one day. So the human body can do much bigger circles when you start doing fitness. So I like to look at it in circles because it's important. Now, if you can go into the circle faster, now you got really, really good fitness. You know what I'm saying? To open up the circles, then step 1 and step 2 is to really be able to go around the circle quick. So anyway, and the biggest circles that I've ever seen, things like Ironman, those are really, really big circles. 100-mile Leadville races in the mountains with elevation at hand, like those are ridiculous circles. Everest, climbing Everest in these big mountains. I mean,
what about riding your bike from Florida to all the way to the West Coast?
Big ones right there. I mean, those are big, big, big circles right there. And so as you get more fit, your circles will get larger and you should be able to go through your circles quicker. So, and the last one I have here is ensure longevity, because really truthfully, there's no real like science to like, how do I live longer? Most people say, oh, it's, eat better and fitness and then stress-free. I think the last one's the one that I think most people don't really realize. I think that's the underlying one that is the key, is to live a stress-free lifestyle more than anything. A lot of people that were like old, they've done studies with old people and they say, centenarians, and then he's like, how'd you live so old?
I always ask them that.
Yeah, how do you live so old? And a lot of them say one thing. And well, a lot of them, when they did a true study about it, they, when I say they, it was just, I don't know where I found this study. I read an article, and the article alluded to the fact that the person said, I've never really been about something all my life. That's what, like, when the number one response is like, I never really went full blast. Like, I was never like the best marathon runner, best soccer player, best football player. I never really was the best at anything. I just stayed in motion, but I never aimed to be the best, like stressed out about it, because those competitions start stressing you out. Olympians, for example, I mean, all these things, and football players, I mean, they never aimed to be the best. They just wanted to do things with their life. So I thought that was really interesting. And I kind of live that kind of lifestyle where I don't care about competitions. I don't care. Everyone's like, man, you should go mountain bike racing. You should be a professional mountain bike racer. You're so good at it. Man, you should do this. You should do that. I'm like, I don't care about proving myself to anybody. Like,
you'd have to drop like 30 pounds to be a professional mountain bike racer.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I raced, I did one race. When I raced, I did really well, but someone like screwed me up really early in the race. But the amount of people I passed in the short amount of time that I did, I probably would have had number 2 or number 1 spot. Like, I just knew it. Everyone knew it. But anyway, that's aside the fact. The fact is, I don't really care about really being the best. Does that make sense? I'm doing the best for me. And I think that's where people need to realize that fitness and all this stuff is completely attainable, because I think when people go in and they're going into these fitness classes, they go, that person looks better than me. I'm never going to look like that person. I'm never going to look like that person. I'm never going to be as fit as this person. But you don't have to be as fit as that person. You don't have to look as good as that person. You just have to do as good as you can do, right? And I think that's the reason why, Eric might look at me. I might look at Eric. Steve might look at me, then look at Eric and go, we're not trying to get each other's physiques, right? We're just trying to do the best that we can. And Raken's seeing improvements. College Picker's seeing improvements for his body type. I have been seeing improvements for the past 2 decades, and that's just the way it is. So, always do the best that you can do. There's always going to be someone better. Always going to be someone better in the fitness space. So
yeah, do it for yourself. Find your reason why. I mean, you don't like you were saying, you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to be better than the next guy. Find your reasons. Compete with yourself. Be better than you were the day before, but don't stress to the fact where it's like, especially with the scale, people are like, oh, I'm 180 and now today I'm 181 or I'm 185. Like, the body can fluctuate in weight so much. I would say look at how you look in the mirror. And that's one thing that you've been teaching me, Chris, is not to really look at, the calories so much and the weight, but look, how do you look in the mirror? Because you can't lie about that.
Right.
So.
Yep. That is right. Like, how do you feel about yourself? Because if you feel good and you feel good about where your journey into fitness, that's all that matters. And yeah, your weight's going to fluctuate here and there because you're putting on more muscle, you're eliminating fat in the body. You know, most people are like, oh, when I go to the gym, that just means I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. It might not be true. You know, you might lose a little bit and then you might just plateau and you go like, what the hell's going on? It's because your body's building muscle. It's building, you know, ligaments and tissues and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I go to gym, I gain weight, and then I go eat unlimited pasta at Olive Garden.
What was that deal that you had gotten at Olive Garden?
Yeah, tell us about that.
It's it's the Olive Garden Pasta Pass. It is an ectomorph's dream. This thing was $100. I think it dropped.
$100 of what?
$100. That's it.
$100 for like
what
a year.
duration?
It dropped in October, I think.
Okay.
Maybe earlier than that because they had to mail out the passes. So I think it's September actually. It dropped, and then you get when Olive Garden has their unlimited pasta, their endless pasta bowls or whatever for
Is that
$10.
once a week or something?
I can go every day. I can go as many times I want a day. Show them the card, and I'm like VIP. They roll out the red carpet. They say, "Oh, how are you doing today, Mr. Spears? Is your pasta good?" You get to know the staff, and I got to shake the general manager's hand and everything. And
but how long does it last for? Does it last for like a year?
A month and a half.
Oh, a month and a half.
It was October 3rd to November 20th. I think.
How often have you been using it? Like actually, how many times have you really been going?
I didn't have a car or anything, so I would ride there, and I went 15 days in a row from the first day that I got it.
And how many calories do you think you were eating each time?
It has to be like probably like 2,000 or 3,000 calories.
Dude, what with the pasta?
It's breadsticks. Dude, you get breadsticks, you get super salad, you get
different sauces and stuff like meat sauces.
Yeah, there's a whole combination. There's like 5 different sauces, like 5 different noodles, and then there's like 4 or 5 different toppings. You can mix and match. But I found what I liked, so I just got to stick with that.
You should have documented that instead of your bike tour.
I did it on Snapchat. I would take pictures of the pasta. I would like day 13, day 14, day 15. It was like
that is funny. Yeah, it's crazy. Everyone has a different body, a different goal. I mean, know your body. I mean, if I did that, I would turn into
Jabba the Hutt.
I don't know. I would not be looking good if I did that for 20 days with my body. Like we were talking about earlier, like everyone's body's different. Like me, like I can put on weight super fast, like fat, like it's really hard for me to put on muscle. Like you, man, like it's crazy. Just know your body. I guess at the end of the day, everyone should know your body. And what's the best way, Chris, for someone to get a feel of like their body type and whatnot to kind of formulate a diet and whatnot?
I think the most important part is to start and to see your 2 or 3 week trajectory. Like, where do you end up about 2 or 3 weeks? Ideally, like if you are in a weight loss kind of standpoint, you really want to be dropping about 1 to 1.5 a week. So that would be literally about 4,000 calories, 3 to 4,000 calories as a deficit of some sort. So one of the easiest ways to lose weight out there is to just cut out something maybe that you eat on a regular basis. Maybe you're a snacking kind of person, right? Maybe to cut out a little bit of the snacks to where you can start. You got to understand, to eliminate, if you were to do nothing, right? And if you are just going to take a week and look at a week and go, okay, I want to lose 1 pound a week. And you're like, I'm not going to go to the gym or anything, but I will eat differently. You have to eliminate 3,500 calories for you to take off 1 pound, okay? 3,500 calories, 1 pound. So you have to start thinking, okay, 3,500 divided by 7, and then you start getting this, okay, it's about 400 something. So every day you have to have a deficit of 400 calories, okay? So that's a pretty easy way to do it right there. And 400 calories can come pretty quickly depending on what you're snacking on, for example. So maybe you snack a little bit less, maybe you drink a lot of water before you decide to snack, and it makes you feel fuller, so you snack less. That's an easy way to do it. But you can drop 1 pound a week just by doing that. Now, if you take that, 3,500 calories out, and you've already achieved your pound a week, and then you accelerate your metabolism by getting on the treadmill or getting on a stair stepper, and you're burning, let's say, 200 extra calories or 300 extra calories 4 times a week. Now you're going to be burning about, in the mathematical equation is, somewhere between 3 or 4 weeks down the road, you'll have 7 pounds off. And you'll have a great habit too, which is cool. Now you repeat that and you get as close to 2 months as you can of doing the same thing for 2 months, you're going to start dropping weight for sure.
So when you said 400 calories a day, is that somebody that's at their baseline not gaining weight every day, or is that somebody
that's when someone just stops and goes like, I want results. I want to get some results, but I don't want.
Because what if they're overeating 400 calories a day? Then they would have to like eat
Well, I'm just talking about standard diet. Everyone knows like their standard kind of thing. I don't think people that are
So like their
yeah,
baseline,
like
their
your
baseline where you're not gaining, you're not losing weight. It's your
exactly, like your
baseline.
baseline.
There's a way to calculate that too, isn't there?
There's a lot of calculations to get your baseline, but then again, see, I don't mess with those calculations too much because I tend to do crazy cardio one day, then I'll just go to normal cardio, then crazy cardio another day. I don't ever like to like pigeonhole myself into like, can I go cardio today or not? Do I have to carb up or carb down? Like, I like to just go, what do I look like in the mirror? Yeah, like, what do I look like in the mirror? How do I feel? And that is the most important thing to me. Like, that is essentially what governs my whole day. Like, am I still mobile? Do I have any pains? No, 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 no. Okay, cool. Then I'm good. Then I feel good. And that's essentially, I think that's what it is, because who's to tell you, who else besides yourself is to tell you that it's a good job? Like, you have to inherently go, I did a good job, for you to carry that habit forward. If someone goes, that's a great job, but you need to be skinnier. Like, but if you're like, if I was skinnier, I'm going to feel, a lot worse. Like I'm going to feel like if you're under your BMI, like drastically under your BMI, you might not feel very good. That's why bodybuilders, when they get to their like really low body fats and all that kind of stuff, they are like walking zombies, right? They walk around and it's just like you can't even hold a conversation with them because they are so starved. But it's only for those like really, really tight days. I don't know, 5 to 3 days. And they are just basically walking zombies because they have nothing left. It's just muscle, barely any fat. And
sounds not healthy.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But that's what it takes to win, So anyway, I don't ever suggest ever doing that kind of stuff. But it is pretty prominent, especially if you look at Instagram and all that kind of stuff. That kind of fitness activity level is super prominent. We're talking about people on like 20 supplements, 30 supplements daily, like pills, and it's insane and it's very expensive. And in order to win in today's day, I mean, people are doing it artificial ways, which is not good. Synthetic roids and all, don't mess with it. Just do the best that you can for your body. That's so important. So let's get further down this outline real quick. We'll try to blast through this. Basic first steps that you should do. Number 1, join a gym. CP, what do you think about that?
Absolutely. You're around like-minded people. You're in the atmosphere. Like, I tried doing at-home workouts. They didn't work for me personally. They might work for somebody else if you can stay focused. But I would say if you're trying to, especially if you're trying to gain, like since I'm on the other side of the spectrum where I'm eating as many calories as I can, trying to gain, and then maybe if I overbulk, maybe I'll cut back and learn how to do that or whatever. I don't know, but get in around those people, see kind of what they're doing, and then if you talk to them, maybe take some advice.
There you go. So I said join a gym, get into classes if you can. Like, if you're a woman and you wanted to get, do some weight loss kind of stuff, get into classes. Classes are great because they're going to start building up your joints, your ligaments, your mobility is going to increase, your confidence is going to do well, you're going to drop weight, and you're going to build muscle. Yeah, and you're going to get friends. So it's really good. Now, if you're a guy, you want to join a gym, maybe you're not into the classes or anything like that, you go into weightlifting, you want to mess with compound movements. Very important. Very high calorie burning movements that are going to build a good amount of muscle in the right places. So compound movements, bench press, military press, bent over row, deadlift, and squat. And we're not talking, when you hear those terms like bench press, squat, deadlift, that means you're probably picturing out a dude with like 3 plates on each side, just going crazy. And it's not like that. Okay. It's not like that at all. College Picker has attained a pretty good physique already doing bench press at, 160, 180 range. And that's not very heavy at all to most people's standard. But the fact is there's a certain regimen behind it. We do 5x5s and all this kind of stuff. 5 reps, 5 sets, 5 reps. Rakin, for example, he's doing the best that his body can handle. And that's all that matters, because when you take compound movements and you put it towards the body and you regulate the weight in an appropriate manner, you get great results. Okay. Now, if you didn't do those compound movements, you would do movements that are a little bit more isolation based, and you don't want isolation based movements until you have kind of sculpted the reasonable shape of what you want to become. And then at that point, you can start messing with like super isolation type movements and start really, getting the deep V channel right here, the cuts in your arms that you want. But for the most part, compound movements will put on the meat where it needs to be, strengthen the body to where the mobility will be the first thing that you see as a added benefit. The mobility gets better and your strength is going to increase greatly, which is good. Being strong is good. Just don't try to be like Olympic strong, because then usually your body has to be like a walnut, right? You have to look really odd shaped typically. Number 2 is eat smaller and more regularly. So metabolism for metabolism reasons. So smaller, more regular, unless you're, like CP and ecto, then you have to just eat a ton and just, do pasta all day long. Number 3, be aware of smarter calories. So bad fats, bad carbs, eliminate all that kind of stuff. When I say bad carbs, for most people, if they were to ingest a ton of pasta, CP, I'll be honest with you, for most people, because people that ingest a lot of pasta on a regular basis are typically endurance type athletes,
Well, I had just gotten off
swimmers. Yeah.
It was like mid bike tour too, so I probably
yeah. So there you go. So yeah,
I was probably so starved still, and I was like riding my bike all over the city. I didn't have a car, so I was walking, and I was walking and riding everywhere.
So yeah, for most people, if they were to do pasta every single day, I mean, you're probably going to gain weight.
It wasn't every day. It was like every other day.
There's even one thing higher than pasta in calories that I consider higher. That's this thing called gnocchi. You know what it is? Gnocchi? GNOCCHI.
Is that chicken gnocchi soup that they have?
No, it's like super dense, like pasta pellets. Like it's called gnocchi. Gnocchi. People.
They had a chicken gnocchi soup at Olive Garden that I got.
Okay.
So I don't know.
But when you just do straight gnocchi and like pasta sauce, boom, that's like 1,500 calories fast.
If you ate a stick of butter, I bet it would be denser than gnocchi.
Maybe. Number 4 is work out regularly. And then number 5 is surround yourself with like-minded people, like College Picker said. Now, let's go into the things that you don't need to do early until you show proficiency. I think this is going to be a very key part of this outline. Here we go. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Things that you do not need to do early until you show proficiency. When proficiency is shown, it's usually a good habit, and you're in the gym now regularly, you're seeing some results, or you're seeing good results. That's what I consider proficiency, okay? A good habit plus the results for your own body type that you've started to see greatly, okay? So proficiency can come 4 weeks like College Picker. It can come longer, like months, like Rakin. And it can come, it just depends on your body type and all that kind of stuff. So things that you don't need to do early until you show proficiency. Here's number 1, okay? Most supplements you don't need. Most you don't. Whole foods is very important, okay? So not the actual store whole foods, but actual foods.
Wholesome foods?
Yes, wholesome foods is very important. So most supplements you will not need. You see these fancy whey proteins and creatines and all this kind of fancy stuff, and the label's all chrome looking and it looks all badass, like the letters are all swooped and it looks like it's going fast, and you're like, damn, if I get into that, I'm gonna be better. Like, no, you have to show proficiency first in order for any of that kind of stuff to work. So you don't need most supplements. The only supplement I would say, if you go early and you're like, I want to get a jump start, I want to do the right perfect supplement, what do you think it would be, Rakin? The number 1 supplement that
probably protein powder.
There you go. You got it. You nailed it, man. That's exactly the number 1 that I consider. If you want to jumpstart and you're like, okay, Bonafide told me 1 supplement I can get, like, or Rakin said 1. I say it's protein powder as well. It's definitely whey protein powder. So protein is the building blocks of muscle. Amino acids, building blocks of muscles. But I would go protein powder first, and that's definitely, it's just as a supplement. Okay, supplement means it's there just a little bit. You just need to supplement to get to your daily protein goals, which is about a pound per weight of body per pound. So how do I say it? A gram per pound. A gram per pound. That's what I meant to say.
Of your muscle, pound, right? Or is it your body weight?
Yeah, no, it's your body weight. If you're 200 pounds, you want 200 grams of protein. Basically, if you're doing compound movements and all that kind of stuff, you're working out regularly, yeah, you're going to want to be they say it's 0.7 sometimes, but I just go 1 to 1. So for every pound of body weight that you have, 1 gram of protein per day spread upon 6 meals. And like I said, the supplements are just supplements. So you should have whole foods as much as possible. And then that last meal, maybe, or the smoothie. I pick 2 places to get my whey protein in, right? One is going to be the smoothie, which is heavily absorbable. We'll get to that in another show. The second one is going to be right before I go to bed, okay? Because my body's in kind of like a starvation mode. I don't want whole foods right before I go to bed, because now your metabolism increases. You're trying to go to sleep. It's not a good kind of thing.
And that's one mistake I was making.
Yeah. If you eat right before you go to bed, your metabolism will go up, and it's going to be harder to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So, but if you do liquid, like if you go liquid whey, then it sits there and it just kind of just chills. Your body doesn't throw all the blood to it because it's not urgent, right? And your body can feast on this liquid stuff in your stomach for 8 hours while you sleep, which is good. So while your whole body is repairing, it's pulling tiny little protein particles from your stomach in this liquid form, right? Number 2, then don't buy expensive workout gear. Like, don't buy the craziest Nike this or Nike that, Under Armour this, Under Armour that, right? Until you have your proficiency. What's up, CP?
One piece of workout gear that I started using that made a world of a difference was a piece of paper. If I had a piece of paper to read and follow to keep me focused instead of me like pulling my phone out and looking at my phone, like just a simple piece of paper, I believe is what I've done differently since high school, what I've done differently since college during my workout spurts till now. Like I swear, printing it out on a piece of paper, it's old school, but
what, your workout plan are you talking about?
Yeah, printing it out on a piece of paper, and it just you look at it. It's accountable. It's physical. Like it's for me.
Oh, yeah.
It works great.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question about, is there something particularly we should or shouldn't look for in a whey protein powder? I like to do whey protein powders or whey protein isolate, and the ones with the least amount of cholesterol is the ones I want to go for. You want the least amount of cholesterol and the least amount of carbs. Like you really want like 1 gram of carb or no carbs in there whatsoever. Most of them are going to have natural and artificial flavors, unfortunately.
Sucralose.
Yep, and then most of them are going to have, I wouldn't say a complete BCAA profile, but they're going to have at least 14 of the most essential BCAAs, so that's okay, but it's not going to be enough. Like you're still going to have to get whole foods and all that kind of stuff, or a BCAA supplement once you start showing proficiency. But I would definitely say look at the cholesterol. That's the 2 things that I look for are, no carbs and very, as low cholesterol as possible. They all have cholesterol, and some will have way higher than others. So I go with Optimum Whey Isolate. That's the one I go for, and it's kind of like an expensive one, but it's also at Costco, so it subsidizes that pretty good. If you were to buy it in the open market, it is kind of expensive, but Costco just has it there, so that's where I buy it. Number 3, things you don't need to do early until you show proficiency is don't start a crash diet, right? Don't mess with a crash diet. What is a crash diet, Rakin?
Crash diet, to put it into context for somebody, is let's just say you're eating, 3 meals a day and you're eating about 3,000 calories. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll just change it all up like immediately. They'll go like immediately to 6 meals, drop the calories down to 1,500 calories, only eat salads, and it's just like a 180 change in their diet. And just like with anything in life, if it's business or it's just habits or routines, when you change too fast, it's typically not sustainable. It's better to slowly change your diet or slowly change your workout regimen instead of just switching it up. That's my idea of a crash diet. Something that's not going to last because you're switching it way too quick in terms of what you're used to.
Right. A month and a half, Reagan and I were working on a diet plan, and we were talking all the time about he was like, I want to get better results from my fitness thing. I feel stronger. I feel everything. I just need to curb my diet. I know there's some things that need to be worked on right there. So I was like, I think the best thing to do, Reagan, was just for you and I to go side by side and transcribe our diets together. And in the first week, I got to see really what he was eating, and I was like giving him feedback, and I realized, man, he's eating regularly, but like I said in the very first part of this show, composition of calories is not good. Composition of calories just was like totally off. Like he was under eating protein, and he was high on carbs and all this it was really whack. And on top of that, the carbs were like really weird carbs. Like it would be PB&J sandwich right before going to bed or something really just like, wow, what are you doing, man? So we
turkey sandwich in the middle of the night.
Oh man, I was like, dude, you gotta just stop doing all that.
You freaked out on me. You're like, are you serious, dude? Do you know how much cardio you're gonna have to do to burn that off?
It was insane. But the point is, like, when you do a side-by-side kind of thing, and this is where, personal training plans and professional training plans really help a lot, is like I go side-by-side with Reagan. I transcribe my diet. So every day he is looking at his diet, he looks at mine, and he starts realizing, like, damn, I am on the wrong path. Damn, I'm on the right path. But 7 days later, after we start this thing, I start seeing that his diet starts changing, right? And then now his diet's pretty good. But that's what it takes. You have to actually see someone that's doing it right beside you. And when he types in what he ate, I'm pretty sure there were some times where he didn't feel good. He was like, crap, Chris is going to nail me for this one, but I have to be transparent.
I got the red highlight.
Yeah. I would highlight it in red and be like, why? Or basically like, that was not a good idea.
Why?
But now it's mostly green highlights, which is good. Green is the color I associate to a good job kind of thing. So when I highlight his cells in green, I mean, he's got almost all green days now. Like, that's good. So that curved it around, but that's what you're going to need to do. Don't start a crash diet progressively change everything. Number 4, and we're almost done, is don't buy into any fitness short duration plans. Okay, people are like out there like, hey, you're gonna lose freaking 10 pounds in a month. Don't mess with that kind of stuff. Don't mess with abs in 6 seconds, 6-second abs. Like all this kind of crazy. I found one of those in Savers the other day, a 6-second abs machine. Not a machine. It's just a thing that it looks like 2 handles, and it has a thing that butts up to your abdominals, and you sit there and you go like this, and you pull it towards yourself for 6 seconds a day, and you just throw it on the
What
ground.
about the one where you actually just sit on the couch and it vibrates?
Just don't.
Oh, that's my favorite workout.
Yeah, don't mess with don't mess
It's
with
amazing.
short duration plans. Like, don't. One of the most successful transformation programs out there was P90X, right? And 90 was there for a reason. Like, 90 is over and beyond what it takes for a human person to have a habit formed, and it's usually in 58 to 60 days. But P90 was 90 days of workout routines spread upon 15 discs. I think it was 15 discs. You repeat the 15 over and over, but yeah, 90 days. And the transformations are quite drastic and they're great and people love it. But that was one of the most revolutionary things out there, because it really showed you, like, if you stick with something for 90 days straight, you can get incredible results. But a lot of people can't do some of the P90X stuff. I mean, it's really meant for someone that has a little bit of like mobility already. And a lot of people that are probably watching this show may not have the mobility, but they have the want to become better. And so you have to start slower than P90X. That's for sure.
Speaking of this, a little off topic, but I want to ask, have you ever heard of someone called Les Mills?
I've heard that name tossed around. I've heard that name.
Because I'd never heard of them, and I picked up like 7 or 8 of these DVDs for $6 each, and they all sold on eBay for like $50 each, every single CD. Wow. And I'm like, I didn't know if you knew anything about this guy, Les Mills, or anybody in the comments.
I've heard it before.
Because
I wouldn't.
Just speaking of some of these workout routine programs we could get on DVD, like P90X, and there's like so many of them coming out now. Like, they actually go for really good money, like on a reseller side, which is pretty crazy because they do bring results, a lot of them, but they're hard work,
Yeah. So yeah, don't buy any fitness short duration plans or any of that kind of stuff. Don't mess with that kind of stuff. I would honestly say, truly, is if you're a complete newbie, like, I would honestly say, and this is very prominent in the USA, so I kind of want to say it now, but you might want to stay away from CrossFit as well, because those gyms are everywhere around the country. And the only problem with CrossFit is, and it's the same problem that you see with gyms, to get certified as a box trainer, like to have your own box, which is a gym, the training program, the last I heard, was really, really quick. Like, it was like a day and you're like, oh, you're certified. Now, cool. Like, it takes months to like perfect Olympic style lifts, and it takes months to realize.
I still can't deadlift.
Yeah, like, it takes months to figure all this stuff out, and then there's some out there with really good, backgrounds like kinesiology degrees and all that kind of stuff. But when you start realizing some of these movements are just not meant for the human body, kipping things, this and that, like they say, it's not a chiropractor's dream as a CrossFit patient, right? Or a CrossFit person coming in. That's like a chiropractor's like perfect client, because they're always coming in with like aches and pains and like things are going wrong. So just be careful with that. I don't do CrossFit. I've done some of the movements, and you really have to be already pretty strong and pretty mobile to accomplish CrossFit, I think, in a professional sense. I don't think it's a right thing for someone just to go into a CrossFit gym and just be like, oh, change my life, please. And I don't think you're going to get it. Now, what does win? Rakin alluded to it, slow and steady. That's very important. Slow and steady will always win the race. Training, what wins also is training your taste buds to enjoy good food. Rakin, like, when you started going to Whole Foods, which is like 2 years ago, like, you train your taste buds to change, and they say,
yep,
on an actual physiology or human evolution standpoint, your taste buds will change every 8 years. They just do. Whether you like it or not, they're going to change every 8 years.
Well, that's interesting.
That's absolutely true, because back like 10 years ago, I used to love ice cream and sweets and candy and all that kind of stuff. I could care less about it now. I just don't care about it. I just don't crave it. I never do. But
what about that box of Lucky Charms that you dug into?
Well, I mean, every now, when friends come in town and all that kind of stuff, then I might have some ice cream laying around or something like that. But for the most part, I don't mess with that. I just don't care about sweet stuff. Like right now, I'm on probably a more salty and like spicy kind of like 8 years. You know, that's just what I like now. But you're training your taste buds to enjoy good food is, you know, once you get around good food and you start, you know, a lot of people might think, oh, if I go to Whole Foods, it's going to taste like dirt. It's going to taste like cardboard. And it's completely wrong. Like you go to Whole Foods. I mean, I'm excited. Like we can all find food at Whole Foods. It's good tasting stuff that was made with great ingredients, all of which is transcribed on the little cards over there in the
I love
deli
it.
area. Yeah, I mean, it's really Whole Foods. Like you're not getting all these crazy, you know, xanthan gum this or whatever. You're not getting all these crazy ingredients. You're getting it made for that day, and if it doesn't work out, they're throwing it in the trash. And that is what's really good about Whole Foods, and it's really good for you. They use cream. Yeah, they use things like butter and cream and cheese and all that kind of stuff. But when you look at it on a whole food standpoint, it's still pretty much a whole food. Like you're getting all these chemically enriched this or that, GMO that, or, you know, this is a real good place to eat at. So don't be thinking that if I go to these places, it's not going to taste as good as my Domino's pizza and all that kind of stuff. You have to understand that good tasting, like extremely amazing tasting food typically has been engineered to taste good and like have you craving more on a chemical standpoint. You have to be very careful with that.
So many different ingredients that have been tested in laboratories to get you coming back, to light your taste buds on fire. So especially McDonald's, they're like infamous for it. Like anytime, I think I watched a documentary where it said something about any food that McDonald's releases, it's been like tested and like split tested and like tested on all different types of animals and humans. So like for like 4 years before it even hits the market. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy.
So if something's chemically built to have you wanting it more and more and more, that is never good. Just you have to be very careful with that. So that's the reason why you should start going towards training your taste buds to enjoy good whole food. 2 more things. Good, smart, fit people around you. Like College Picker said, get around some good, smart, fit people around you. Good, smart, fit, right? Not just, oh, I'm in a gym, like everyone's really good here. Like good, smart, fit people are going to persist in the gym. They're going to stay in the gym. You're going to see them more regularly. Those are the people you probably want to talk to.
The ones you notice. Once you start noticing the same faces over and over and over
Those
again.
are the ones with the good habits. Those are the ones you need to gravitate.
You want people to start noticing you too. You got to wear your American flag tank every time you go to the gym.
There you go, man. That's right. You wear shorts though, right? You do wear shorts and pants. Right?
I actually wore pants because I got off work immediately. I would roll up the one pant leg and then ride the bike to the gym.
Awesome. And then the last one is having goals, diet, and physical. Having some sort of goal, very important. College Picker has paper on the ground, you know, achieve a workout, which is a small goal. It seems like a small goal, but 58 of those small goals and you have a really good habit. So having goals, diet, and physical goals. Reagan's got a physical goal, like he wants to look a certain way by this meetup or that meetup. He wants to, and that's a perfect goal, right? And that's the reason why, you know, we do these like update pictures back and forth on our phones and everything. So very important to have diet and physical goals. That pretty much concludes the show. I thought it was going to be a 30-minute show. I apologize because we had a third person come on the panel, which is College Picker, and sometimes he's not on the shows, but now that he's on the show, he can provide really, really good insight on a lot of things. And so I'm glad to have him on the show. He is the third admin, of course, of the Green Room. But guys, there was a question in the very first part of this program, which is how do I get into the Green Room? What is it and all that kind of stuff? Go to greenroomuniversity.com and go check it out. We do have specials every now and then, but if you did want to get in on the specials or any of that kind of stuff, the number one thing, guys, is to get on the email list because that's really where all the specials come down to. So you can check it out. It's the very first link. It'll get you into this one guide. It has nothing to do with Green Room Life at all, but you can get this guide for free as well. And it's the first link down below. So check that out. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show, guys. I had fun raking. I had fun.
Yeah, ton of fun.
And hopefully you got a couple little life hacks and fitness hacks out of this. That's all you really need. You know, if you spend an hour with us and you get 1 or 2 tidbits of information that you carry with your through your entire life, that makes the whole hour worth it. So get in, you know, get active, get into a gym if you can, curve that diet around. You should be just good. And if you like this show, number one thing you can do is hit the like button, put a comment down there, and that'll make us, you know, do more shows kind of like this. But just remember, when you see a Green Room Life show, this isn't about hustling anymore. This is about everything outside of hustling and all the things that really do matter. So I hope I hope you enjoy it. Last comments right here. Andrew Jones, a daily inspiration. Thanks, fellas. You're welcome. Make more goddamn videos, bona fide. Yeah, those are coming. There was another one with like, you guys are great, all this kind of stuff. So like I said, very informal type show, but I hope you liked it. We're out of here. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.